In 1900, at a conference in Birmingham, the Adventist community in Britain voted to establish a training school. A year later, at Wanstead in East London, the decision was made to open its doors. On the 6th of January 1902, they did. Newbold College in Holloway, North London. It started with 20 students. The first principal was a 31-year-old American named Homer Salisbury, who had sailed from the United States to take the post just weeks before. He chose as the motto for the new school a phrase from the book of Hebrews, "Let us go on unto perfection." His constant concern, it was said, was that students reach a high level of achievement. He would not live to see what the college became. In 1915, when his ship was torpedoed in the Mediterranean, he gave his lifebelt to a passenger who had none. The building on this campus bears his name. The college had a simple start. 4 classes were taught simultaneously in a single room. There were no desks, no books in the library, 1 typewriter for the entire typing class. To pay for their fees, £1, 10 shillings per term, students attended class in the mornings and, in the afternoons, walked the streets of London, selling Adventist books and magazines door to door. They started with almost nothing, and yet, from the first day, something was already being formed. The world changed again and again. The college moved from Duncombe Hall to Holloway Hall, then to Manor Gardens and Stanborough Park in Watford. Each time the name changed. Each time the purpose did not. During the First World War, students sat examinations while Zeppelins flew over London. When the alarm sounded, they gathered in the reception room, held candles, and in the dark they sang choruses until the all clear came. In the 1930s, called the Golden Decade, the college occupied a magnificent 300-acre estate called Newbold Revel. Students came from across Europe, but the Great Depression pressed hard. To afford their £50 a year in fees, farm students rose at 4 a.m, every morning, to milk the dairy herd by hand before their 7:30 classes. 60 hours a week for pennies, alongside a full academic load. Then, the Second World War. Students huddled in the college cellars as the nearby city of Coventry was destroyed in November 1940. 8 miles away, close enough to feel the weight of the explosions, close enough to find shrapnel in the gardens the following morning. In 1941, the Royal Air Force requisitioned the estate. Despite the protests of the principal, the college was evicted in the middle of winter, forced into cramped Nissen huts at Packwood Hall. The huts leaked. Food was rationed. Each student's weekly allowance, 2 ounces of butter and a little jam. And still, the college kept its classes and refused to close, because the conviction was larger than any building. In 1946, the church purchased a new estate in Berkshire. More close, Binfield. The college found its permanent home, the campus that stands tonight. Here, the memories become warmer. Some of you in this room tonight walked these paths. You know what this place does to a person. Students recall professors whose brilliance was as legendary as their severity. They remember ingathering days, collecting donations door to door through local villages, and the social rules of the era. A supervised walk required a formal A privilege. Tea in the presbytress's office, once a month with the door open, required a C privilege. Rules that seem less like restrictions and more like the texture of a community that took formation seriously. Because formation was never only what happened in the classroom. It happened in how you spent your mornings, in how you treated your neighbour, in how you lived when no one was watching. Joan Cheeseman, who arrived in the 1960s from across the world, described it simply. She had not found a school. She had found a family, one that spoke a dozen languages, navigated a dozen cultures, and built something she carried for the rest of her life. The decades after the war brought a different kind of expansion. Academic affiliations with the Open University, Andrews University, and the University of Wales allowed students to earn internationally recognised degrees. At its height, students from over 60 countries were studying on a campus of fewer than 400 people, making Newbold one of the most internationally diverse small colleges in Britain. From these classrooms came pastors and teachers, business leaders and artists, community workers and missionaries. Not because Newbold produced a single type of person, because it took seriously the particular person each student already was. Newbold's work is what it has always been: the formation of people for lives of ministry and service, for the Seventh-day Adventist Church and for the world it serves, pursued with the same seriousness and the same hope as the day it began. Today, students still come from across the world to be shaped by this place. That work has never really stopped. 125 years of people formed here and sent. Tonight, we do not mark an ending. We mark a continuation. The same conviction that drove 20 students into a borrowed room in Holloway has not finished its work. It simply needs people willing to carry it into every place where faith was never meant to stay silent. Let us go on unto perfection.